Today we're going to take a look at how to create a recurring class using Zoom. So when we open up our web browser, we want to type in zoom.us. You'll notice that it's .us, it's not .com, it's not .org. I would advise everyone, once they type in the address, to use your bookmark options to save it so you can find the link very easily. And once we hit zoom.us, we'll be brought to the Zoom homepage, and you'll see right here the sign-in option. When we click on the sign-in option, we'll be brought to a regular standard sign-in page that we're all very familiar with. It's very, very important to note that this is not what we want. This sign-in, this typical sign-in that we see here, is not the sign-in that we are going to use. In order to access our education account, we need to scroll down below that, and you'll see three options: sign in with SSO, sign in with Google, and sign in with Facebook. We are going to select sign in with Google because our educational account is linked with our Google account. So again, when we come to this sign in page, don't give in to the temptation to enter an email address and password here. So we're going to scroll down here and we're going to click sign in with Google. You'll be prompted again to enter your username. You'll enter your password. And that brings you right into your Zoom homepage for your account. And you'll see here that I have several different meetings already scheduled, several different recurring meetings. When you log in, it'll be blank. You won't have any meetings scheduled here. Over here, you'll just see a profile button. If you click the profile button, you'll be able to upload a picture of yourself. So if your camera is ever inactive, that picture will display instead of like a blank screen or a black square. You'll be able to go in there and set up the time zone, which will be important to do with regards to setting up your meetings. But what we'll want to do today is we want to click the schedule a new meeting in order to set up our CCD class. So we click the blue button and you'll be brought right here to this page. And what we do for our topic is we're going to put in our class identifier, which will be CCD 3A. That's the sample that we're using. So if you've been assigned to 1A, 1B, 5A, 6A, 7A, whatever that is, that's what's going to be the topic. And then the description here you'll see is optional. I would just advise everybody just to put down your name, Mr. Mueller's 3rd grade CCD class. Scrolling down, you'll see the when and the duration. The duration for both classes is going to be 1 hour and 15 minutes because that is what we have on the books. Our CCD classes are 1 hour and 15 minutes long. Don't panic, because I know some of us will not be able to go the full 1 hour and 15 minutes, especially with the younger grades. There's no way that they'll be able to maintain that attention span for that long. So maybe our class time in reality is only going to be maybe 30 minutes for our first graders or second graders, and maybe we can build up to 40 or 45 minutes total. For our older grades, maybe we're going to start out at 40 minutes or to 1 hour. For our 7th graders, maybe we can go the full 1 hour and 15 minutes. It all depends. We're going to have to feel that out over the first couple of weeks. You'll know when kids are starting to get antsy and when the cutoff time is, but we could probably begin to build upon that cutoff time every single week. Now, even though we have all of this information set, this really is for the benefit of our participants, for the benefit of our students and the families, because it provides them with the information that they need as to when the class is going to start, the duration, and then it'll give them the specific dates of the class, as we'll set up in a second. I just want to emphasize with the catechists that we're not locked in to this start time. This is not a definitive start time for us, nor is this duration definitive for us. And what that means is that as a catechist, I don't have to sign into Zoom at 4:30 p.m. and start everything at 4:30 p.m. I would advise you to start maybe about 10 or 15 minutes early to make sure that you have everything set up and operational. So when you log into your Zoom account, you can come right to your meeting. You can hit start and start it at, say, 4:15, 4:20. All of your students will come into a waiting room if they log in early. So if you're not ready to let them in, they're on standby waiting until that happens. I'll show you that feature in a little bit. But just so you know that you can start the meeting early without any problems, even though it says 4:30 start time. Right? And that might be beneficial to some catechists that might want to allow the students to gather maybe 10 minutes early, 5 minutes early with you so they can chat with one another and check in with one another about the things that are going on in life. And that would be perfectly fine to do. And then you can actually begin the class at 4:30 p.m., but they've had some time to socialize. And again, same thing for Sunday. If you need to cut out early, that's fine, because that's totally in your control. You can end the meeting before the duration time is up. And likewise, if you're getting at, say, maybe an hour and 15 minutes with one of the older grades and you realize that you're in a really good conversation and you want to take some time to wrap that up, or maybe there's a couple of last-minute details that you need to review with your students and you're going to go beyond an hour and 15 minutes, don't panic, because you can do that. Don't worry about these time constraints for you, because you have total control over when to start the meeting and when to end the meeting. It's for the benefit of the participants. The next thing that we're going to want to take a look at is we're going to take a look at this time zone. We want to make sure that we have the time zone correct. For us and where our location is, we're selecting the Eastern Time, GMT -4. You'll see that that's already preloaded here in my account, and that's because I have that time zone set up in my profile. So when you log in, you'll have the option to go to your profile. You'll be able to put a picture of yourself in the profile. So if ever your camera's not on, or if it's turned off for a second, your image will be there to let everybody know that you're still connected. And likewise, you'll be able to set up your time zone. What's really important for us as we set up our class meeting is to click this tick box. And that brings up the recurring meeting schedule. So you'll see the recurrence rate is listed as daily, monthly, weekly, no fixed time. For our CCD program on Tuesdays, we're going to select the weekly option. For our Sunday programs, we're going to take the monthly option. So for right now, I'm going to show you how to set up the monthly, and then we're going to go back to weekly so we can continue with our example. So for those in our Sunday Family Catechesis program, we're going to select monthly. It's going to repeat every month, and then it occurs on, well, we don't want it to occur on a specific day on the month. We want it to occur on a specific day of the month. So you'll see here the option first, second, third, fourth, and we can select the day. We want the second Sunday of the month. Down here we see the end date. Okay, so this is giving us 7 occurrences. So what we want to do is we can click on the calendar, go back to December, and our final class date for our monthly program is going to be the 13th of December. All right. You don't have to worry about the occurrences because we're selecting it with the calendar. So that gives us our start and our end date. For our Tuesday program, what we're going to do is we're going to select the weekly option. And you'll see right away we have the option, how often does it repeat? Every 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 7 weeks. Okay. We want every week. We're going to select Tuesday. And our end date is going to be December the 22nd. Scrolling down here, now that we have the class time set up, there's some additional options that we can look at for our meeting. You'll see here a registration option. We definitely do not want to have our students register for the class. We just want to provide them with the link, let them click on the link, and let them join our class. The registration option would require your students to register for the class in order to be able to attend. It's an extra step that might be good if we're doing a conference, or if we want to control a limit to the number of people that we have, or we want to have an idea of the number of people, but we're not really using any of that. This is going to be a set class. We're going to provide all of our students with the link, and they should be able to just click the link and go. So we're going to ignore this completely for both our Sunday and our Tuesday programs. The next feature that you'll see is a security feature. You'll see here there's a passcode and a 6-digit number. You'll see here that you do not have the option to eliminate the passcode. That's a new feature in Zoom that they started maybe a couple of months ago. You used to have the option to not use a passcode. They don't give you that option anymore. It's a part of their upgraded and enhanced security feature. This is locked for all accounts. You'll see over here the option to use a waiting room. You definitely want to click this option. What this does is when your students log in, they are automatically placed on hold. They're in a waiting room, not together, just by themselves, and they're waiting for you, the host, to allow them to enter into the classroom. So this is a good thing to do in case you're not ready. You're still trying to get something set up on your end. You're not ready to be in front of the screen yet, but you've started the meeting and it's a little early and students begin to log in. Well, they're literally on hold until you allow them to enter into the classroom. And I'll show you that feature when we get into the actual meeting screen and we start our meeting. Video here, you have the options, two options. You can either have the video on or off when you log in. And for the participants, you can have their video on or off when they log in. So in other words, when you sign in to Zoom and you join the meeting, your video will either be on automatically or it'll be off automatically. I recommend that you have both of these ticked for your meeting so you don't have to go through the fuss of a student that might not be familiar with Zoom, especially the younger ones. How do I turn on my video? I can't see anybody, or you can't see them. Having these two buttons clicked on eliminates most of those problems. For the telephone, just make sure that both is connected. Under meeting options, enable join before host. Definitely not. You do not want to tick this box. And the reason why is because this would be like leaving your classroom unattended. What that feature enables the students to do is to jump in on the meeting before you might be present. It's literally like leaving your classroom unattended. So you do not want this option ticked. This option here to mute participants upon entry, I would recommend that you leave that unticked initially, because you're going to allow them to join early, to maybe dialogue and to catch up with one another, which is something that, again, that I recommend, to give them that maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes right before class starts to talk, to meet, to catch up with one another, to catch up with you, you catch up with them. You don't want to have them muted when they enter, because then you'll have to unmute them in order for them to participate. You don't need to worry about only authenticated users can join. That's not something that we have to worry about. We're not going to worry about breakout rooms being pre-assigned. We don't have to worry about that because most of us will not be using breakout rooms. In order to use a breakout room, we would need two hosts or two adults on the session with us. So when we did breakout, we would have an adult with each one of those breakout sessions. So we're not going to worry about breakout sessions. The one feature that we do want to tick here is record the meeting automatically. And you'll see the option to record on the local computer or to record in the cloud. We want to make sure that we record on our local computer. What that's going to do is it's going to record the video directly to your device, whatever it is that you're using. If we choose the in the cloud option, what that is going to do is it's going to allow you to store the recording in Zoom itself via their cloud. But there's a limit to the cloud space that you have available. It's kind of like those of you who use maybe an iPhone, your cloud storage initially is limited to 5 gigabytes. Same type of thing with Zoom. They'll allow you to store it to their cloud, but you're limited in the amount of storage space that you have. Another reason why we want this selected is because sometimes when we're in the thick of things, we might forget to hit the record button when we start our class. That has happened to me on several occasions where I meant to record a session and I am almost like 15, 20 minutes, sometimes it's not even until the end of the meeting, and I realize I never hit the record button. Having the record meeting automatically ticked it just saves you the frustration of having to remember that. And then we're going to click Save. Now, you'll see here that brings me right back up to our meetings. Here's the topic, the description, the start time, all the information that we've entered here. What we're going to do here, we scroll down here to copy the invitation. When it comes time to giving our parents the information about our Zoom account, this is what you want. You're going to click Copy the Invitation. And that's going to bring up a screen here, and you'll see your name. You know, Mr. Dennis Mueller, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so is inviting you to a scheduled Zoom meeting. Here's the topic, the CCD Class 3A. Here's the time, every week on Tuesday until this date, and then all of the occurrences. For our Tuesday program, you see right away there's a problem. We're not meeting on the first Tuesday of the month, and yet here we have October 6th, November 3rd, and December 1st. We need to get rid of those dates. So if we come down here and we click Cancel, and we come back over here and click Meetings, this is going to bring us back to all of our meeting page. And if we scroll down to all of our meetings, second page here, you'll see here is where my CCD class starts. Over here on the right hand side of the page, you'll see the option to delete. I want to get rid of this October 6th meeting. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to click Delete. You'll see I have the option to delete this occurrence or delete all occurrences. You definitely don't want to hit this delete all occurrences, because then everything that you just set up is going to be erased. The entire class is going to be removed from your device. You're going to have to go back and you're going to have to start everything all over again. All we're looking to do is to delete this occurrence. So we're going to click this button. Our page is going to refresh. And if we scroll down here, we see that October 6th is no longer listed. So again, we're going to scroll down a little further, and we're going to do the same thing for the November 3rd date. We're going to click Delete. This occurrence, our screen will refresh, and we can scroll down, and now we can get rid of this last date, our December 1st date. Our screen will refresh. All right. And then now we have all of our dates listed. To go back in, to access the class, just click on the link. All right, you'll see click to view meeting details. We click on that, and that brings us right back to our meeting detail page where we were before. All of our information is there. And now if we scroll down to copy the invitation, you'll see here all of the correct dates are listed. For those of you in the Sunday program, because you set it up to be on the second Sunday of the month, starting from September to December, there really will not be any dates that you'll need to edit or eliminate. You'll see those 4 dates listed here in your meeting invitation. What we're going to do is we're going to come down and we're going to click Copy Meeting Invitation. And you'll see here a little notice pop up, Copy to the clipboard. Then we're going to come over and we are going to log into our Google account. So coming into our Google account and opening up an email, once we send all of our, have all our recipients, our parent emails listed in there, and we hit paste, you'll see here is all of our Zoom information that we copied from our clipboard. So all of the information that we saw on that clipboard is now here. It gives them all of the information that the parents need, the number of occurrences, all the dates are listed there, so there's no discrepancies. And then when they come down here, here's their link to join my class on Tuesdays. There's a lot of extra information down here that's associated with this. That's really for phone use. If people are just going to call in without video, we don't need to worry about all that information. because this link here, when it appears to them in an email, will be highlighted. It'll be a clickable link. It doesn't appear clickable here in this information, but when I send it, it'll become clickable for the parents. And the students are familiar with Zoom because a lot of them were using it or something like it for school. They had Zoom meetings, and so they know that they just need to click that link and that'll sign them in. The meeting ID and the passcode are listed here in the email too, just for informational purposes, but you'll notice here this PWD, that's the password. So here's the encrypted password listed right here in the link. So again, anybody who has this link will be able to join the class.